Hi, I'm Rob Lockyer, Global Brand Lead at Allpress Espresso, and this is our series of short conversations about how the hospitality industry is navigating the challenges of COVID-19. Today, we're talking to Ava Nakagawa. She is the manager of Christchurch much-loved pub Pomeroy's and the founder of popular brunch spot Little Plums. She's also the founder of a beer brand called Beer Baroness. Ava tells us about how Beer Baroness was started to tackle gender roles within the beer industry, how her family traded through the GFC in 2008, and how low and slow is her approach to preserving her business through what's to come. If you have a question for Ava, please leave a comment below and we'll get back to you. Hi Ava, thanks for joining us. Before we get into it, can you just give us a little snapshot of Little Plums and Beer Baroness?
Sure. So Little Plums is our cafe. It's a wee 60-seater. 60-seater's not that way, but anyway, next door to our pub. So Pomeroy's has been my biggest love for the longest time. It's my family's pub that I manage as well. So this October it would have been 5 years that we've had Little Plums. We specialise in brunch, I would say. We're definitely not a cafe in terms of cabinet or anything like that. We got a whole other different thing going on, and obviously really good coffee and great service, so and very much a local base. Beer Baroness also sort of came from Pomeroy's as well. I fell in love with craft beer about 10 years ago. Just have sort of like lived, breathed, consumed craft beer for a really long time, and have been fortunate to be a part of a really big growing industry that's sort of happened in New Zealand. And about, I don't even know, I'm so bad with timelines, maybe about 9 years ago, something, we got a brewery because we were super naive and thought, hey, cool, let's give it a whirl and see what it's like. So I started my own brand, and it's very much a brand that I have learned more about beer with, and that is very much there to push the whole kind of gendered role like within beer, and that really push that there's no such thing as a girl's beer and it's not just a boy's drink, and you know what I mean. So just something that I like to have fun, and it's very much a creative outlet for me too.
So we're seeing lots of our customers diversifying during this time. What do you think Little Plums and Beer Baroness will look like post-pandemic?
I mean, I'm kind of a sort of suck it and see lady, like we try and plan, but I mean, it's even been clear through this time with Beer Baroness, we don't do any bottle sales and we're just keg only. And then all of a sudden it was like, right, okay, let's try and get some beer out of our tanks and get it down to 3 boys and bottle it. So we've been within a week or so, we'd managed to get beer in bottles and we were delivering, and that wasn't a plan a month ago. So I think one thing that we always try and do as a business is actually just adapt, to the current situation. And I've been communicating with all my staff probably every couple of days, and just telling everybody that we just have to take it as a day-by-day situation. And I've had a really strong motto of kind of going low and slow, and kind of just taking our time and working through it, and not trying to rush into anything, because the most important thing is I think there will be an increase in hospitality initially when everyone comes out of lockdown, because everyone's dying for coffee or beer or their favorite takeaway. But there's going to be a long time that we're going to really struggle, I think, as a country and globally. And for us, we're just going to diversify, make sure that we've got things and price points for people that still seem approachable. We're going to be opening for takeaways next week, but we're just doing really small offering in terms of just coffees and scones, because I don't want to put any of my staff at risk any more than I have to. And we'd had the conversation prior, and if they weren't up for it, we wouldn't have done it anyway. And the pub's going to do some burgers and some beers, and that will kind of be it. And and then hopefully aim for level 2 within 2 or 3 weeks. And again, just I think the thing for us is we're just going to go really slowly and quietly, and just the long-term goal is preservation of our business, rather than trying to do everything overnight. And I think when you think about it a bit too much in a big picture sense, it can feel quite overwhelming. But if we're just going, like, it's such a moving target, isn't it? Like something could change next week again. We could be back in level 4,
Feels pretty clear that we're heading towards a really tough time economically. So what role can hospitality play to support their communities?
Well, going through the recession in 2008, my parents had the pub. So we've got a little bit of an understanding on how that will look for people. People still like to drink. So that's, I guess, one. Yeah, okay, Milo. I think that's one good thing. Um, for the cafe, I don't know. I think that's going to be an interesting one, because I think there's so much that people can afford with what they get in. And I think, one of those things is we all need to get our hair cut, we all need to eat, we all want to have some social contact, whether it be a couple of pints on a Friday night or a dinner, like a cheap and cheerful dinner with one of your friends. But I think one thing, a lot of things that go are, I think there's personal trainers that will really struggle. I think, more specialized beauty. And I think in that camp is brunch. Brunch is a very, very bougie, concept of like another meal somewhere in there that you can go out and, so it's going to be interesting. And I'm under no illusion that maybe 2 brunches a week for somebody might only become 1 a fortnight. Which is totally fair enough. But I think coffee is still really essential. And Brad, my head chef, and he's a business partner in a cafe as well, we've just been, really thinking about how we can give people the opportunity to be able to still come into a really nice environment, still get really beautiful service, and be able to walk away having spent $20, and they've got a coffee and they've got something to eat, and maybe they've got a little bit of change and they feel, so I think, we have to be really up for diversifying our businesses, and really appreciate that. And I think the biggest thing as well in times of hardship financially for people is just actually being really, really grateful for your customers that are still choosing and coming to spend their money with you, So, that's our kind of plan. Don't tell anybody.
That's a great way to end it. Thanks so much, Ava. And remember, if you have a question for Ava, please just leave it in the comments below and we'll get back to you.